this is Mike Lieberthal.
And I'm Curt Schilling.
We'll be your hosts for the 1999 Phillies Home Companion. There's no plate like home. In the spring of '99, a group of some 50 ball players gathered in Clearwater, Florida to begin the last Phillies campaign of the 20th century. There was a good atmosphere in camp. The team was eager and young. Well, some of us were young.
Easy there, tough guy. Yeah, it's true. It was an exciting camp. We had a lot of young talent and some budding young stars. The year before, we opened some eyes around baseball with our aggressive style of play. John Vukovich had a little chat with us to make sure the point got across.
It's amazing that when you run the bases the right way and do the things out here, how you get a reputation. Congratulations, you got a reputation. Give you a little story. Dallas Green told Tito and the coaching staff the other day that in 45 years in baseball, he never saw a team run the bases the way we ran them last year. So as hard as it is to get that kind of reputation, it's equally as hard to keep it. Now that you got it and you deserve it, now we got to just build on it.
Vuk was right. It's one thing to get a reputation, it's another to keep it. But we were on the right track. The plan all along has been to develop talent from within. And after several years, a strong nucleus has arrived.
Smokes it to deep center field.
Get up,
Over the batting eye, a tremendous home run, Scott Rowland.
Sure, it's great to take a guy like Scott Rowland, wind him up and just let him play. But sometimes you have to teach the game too.
Perfect throw by catcher Jason Varitek, nails Abreu easily at second base.
2-0, in my opinion, not the best time to run unless you're dead sure you're going to make it. Because if you made a bad pitch and it's 3-0, but they got you. You know what I'm saying? Just think about that, 2-0.
Yeah. Terry Francona is the perfect guy to manage a young ball club. He's easy to talk to, a good teacher, and doesn't have that "I invented the game of baseball" attitude like some managers. And like most honest men, he sometimes admits that he's still learning the job.
Making that job a little easier is an outstanding group of veteran coaches. One of their main jobs this spring was to try and develop a new middle infield combo of Desi Relaford and rookie Marlon Anderson, and the hours spent on the backfield began to pay off.
Down toward short, Desi. Marlon Anderson. Fastball, another into center field, base hit.
This was a really big spring for me. I lost the last third of the '98 season due to a nagging groin injury and had to fight a winter's worth of doubts about my health. And while I felt like I was ready to play, you just never know until you get in game conditions.
That's well hit to deep center field. This ball's out of here. Center field home run. Mike Lieberthal and the Phillies have now jumped to a 6-0 lead here in the first inning. Well, what a spring Lieberthal's had. An 18-game hitting streak. It's almost impossible.
There goes the runner. The throw by Lieberthal. Oh, what a great throw. You got him.
After the spring you had, I don't think there was any question marks. But now it was time for the real show, and we were off to Atlanta to open the season.
Even though baseball is a team sport, there is always that part of you that is very much alone. In the hours leading up to the first pitch, you're alone with your thoughts and fears, wondering what the 6-month marathon of a baseball season has in store for you.
Some guys mask it with jokes and laughter. Other guys immerse themselves in preparation. I believe that if I'm more mentally prepared than the batters I'm facing, I'll always have the edge.
Then there are guys like Ed Wade, whose job it is to assemble a team within a framework of a long-term plan. Alone with his thoughts, he had to wonder, do we have enough guns to compete?
The answers would come very soon.
It's going to be a big year. Oh, yeah. Big year.
Good afternoon, everyone. From Turner Field in Atlanta, welcome to 1999 Phillies baseball, the opening of the 99 season.
There's nothing like those opening day butterflies.
Rays hit to open the 99 season. Doug as he crushes his first home run of the year and gives the Phillies a 3-2. Second base is Brian Jordan. You can't make up the with a breaking ball into the top of the side. Number 30 got out, puts it away, and the Phillies have won the 99 opener by a score of 7-4 over the Atlanta Braves.
Nothing like getting that first one under your belt.
Fly ball center field. Now Vukovic has a decision here. Tagging is Lieberthal. The throw by Jones. Save the home plate with a he's out of there, struck him out. Curt strikeout for Bradley, who records his second save.
We split with the Braves. Then it was down to Florida, where you got your second win.
Bills win by a score of 5-2. Curt Schilling goes 2-0.
Chad O.J. picked up his first win, and after a long spring, it was finally back home to the vet.
Long drive, watch this baby, game tied. Up the middle, Desi Rutherford got it. Hard and deep to right field. That ball is way out of here. Grand slam, home run, Bobby Abreu. The Phillies leading by a 10-2 score on the Abreu slam.
The next night, it was Doug Glanville's turn to be a hero.
Base hit left field, game over. Abreu scores. Phillies win 2-1 on an RBI ninth-inning single by Doug Glanville. Glanville back, still going back.
Then Carlton Lower closed out the sweep.
Game over. Phillies win 7-2.
After 12 games, we were 7-5, and I guess right about where we wanted to be.
Before the game that Sunday, Scott Rowland was presented with his first Gold Glove. I predict that his trophy case will be lined with these before he's through.
All right, Nostradamus, I guess it's time to roll the unbelievable Scott Rowland defensive plays segment of our show.
Fastball hit on the ground. What a play by Scott Rowland. Nice play by Rowland. Oh, what a play by Rowland. Puts it up in the air. Foul. Oh, great play by Scott Rowland. Oh, mercy. Oh, what a grab. He makes this play. Oh, what a sensational play at both ends by Scott.
You know, Shill, that guy he throws to on the other side of the diamond's not too shabby either.
Yeah, Rico plays like he's wearing two gloves.
Oh, what a play by Rico Bronya. They get it. Boy, one of these days, he better win a Gold Glove. Great diving grab by Rico.
Yeah, and those two in the middle have their moments too.
Anderson gets the lead runner. Oh, they turn a brilliant double play. Foul ball hit sharply. They get one. Rutherford, a good turn of the double play.
Yeah, but how about the guy closest to the hitter?
Bare-handed it.
Oh, you must mean the catcher.
Got away from Lieberthal. Did he get him? Oh, what a play by Mike Lieberthal.
You know, Levy, a good defense is the key to any team's success. And this team had the fewest errors of any Phillies team in the history of the club. That's 116 years.
Wow. And we were also second in the league in fielding percentage. As the first month came to a close, we were playing like a young ball club trying to find itself. We were swept in Arizona, then went to Montreal and swept them.
Line drive to center field, base hit. Alex Arias, one scores. Here comes.
Yeah, and we were getting help from unexpected sources. Alex Arias came off the bench and gave us a real lift. And veteran closer Jeff Brantley was nailing down every chance we gave him.
He's out there, struck him out. Third strikeout for Bradley, who records his.
Back home against the Reds, Doug Glanville came to bat in a scoreless tie in the 10th.
base hit left center field. Game over. Doug Glanville, a game winner here in the 10th inning.
That win really pumped us up. The next day, we came out smoking.
That's well hit to right field, and it is. That's well hit. Right center field. Could it be? It is off the wall and kicked away. It's going to be an inside the park home run. Ron Gant can circle it twice.
Well, that's doing back to back to back the hard way, but it worked.
We built up a 7-1 lead, and then the wheels fell off.
Here comes Larkin being waved around after Bonds.
Not only did the Reds come back and beat us, but there was something really wrong with Jeff Brantley.
Rico Brown, you noticed that he's going to have to leave the game. Yep.
When a pitcher does that, something is really wrong. And just like that, we lost our closer. Sometimes you just have to rise above adversity, and the loss of Jeff Brantley meant someone else would have to pick up the slack.
On May 2nd, the Dodgers rolled into town, and you faced off against Kevin Brown. I'll never forget that 6th inning, when you had a 1-run lead, bases loaded, no outs, and a 3-0 count on the batter. Guess I didn't need to go out and tell you to dig down for something extra.
There's one of them. He throws him a 3-2 splitter with the bases loaded. That takes some guts, but that's a great pitch by Curt Schilling.
Struck him out on a high fastball.
He can see his way out of it now. He knows it. Wow. He's reaching back for some.
Smashed. Anderson knocks it down. They're out of the inning. What a job by Curt Schilling.
Outstanding job.
Never a doubt, Lieb. And it got even better as Carlton Lower threw another complete game 2 days later.
Glanville squeezes it. Carlton Lower has pitched his first major league shutout. 3-0 Phillies here at Veterans.
But the real surprise of the season was the emergence of Paul Bird.
We all know the Cinderella story. Claimed off waivers the year before, ex-Met, buried in the Braves organization.
Struck him out.
Nobody was ready for the show he was about to put on.
Birdie's not going to overpower you, but he knows how to pitch.
Complete game, Paul Bird. Phillies.
He's a classic whatever it takes kind of pitcher, and I love to watch him work. In mid-May, we took to the road and made Coors Field our personal playground, scoring 25 runs in a 3-game sweep of the Rockies. We bombed 11 home runs, including 3 by our catcher, you stud.
Then it was off to St. Louis, where we took 2 out of 3, and our ace got a 6th win and 3rd complete game.
Back home against the Mets, the thrills kept coming. Then, Alex Arias had a chance to make history for the second time in 2 years.
It's a line drive. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3.
Despite all the thrills, the Mets took the first 2 games, and it was Birdie's turn to play stopper.
Struck him out. Was that a changeup?
Right out of there. Shuts he out of the inning. And is. Great job by Wayne Gomes to get out.
And with that strikeout, Curt Schilling has now tied Grover Cleveland Alexander for 4th place on the all-time Phillies strikeout list.
Hey, Shill, how much do you pay those 2 guys?
The Shillometer guys, Jeff and Chris, maybe the 2 best fans in Philadelphia. They do it for the love of the game.
Yeah, well, they had some competition out there this summer.
There you go, the bird's nest.
A little fan club starting out there. It's going to be a triple for Kevin Sessick, 7-1 Phil.
Now Paul Bird can rest for a while.
The Shilometer would look like junk compared to the bird's nest. Junk.
Just wait till this gets big. Wait till this gets big.
Schilling's a nerd. Bird is the word.
Save it, Shakespeare. My boys could take these guys any day.
Hey, Schill, this isn't a war. Besides, the kid on the right doing all the talking has a very famous grandfather. His name is Christian Ashburn.
Oh man, if Whitey could see this now.
He's watching, Curt. He's watching.
You know, these guys were a part of a trend that was sweeping the ballpark.
And a lot of fans were into self-expression this summer. And it was a lot of fun for us.
As the season began to unfold in a positive way, it became obvious that our most dominant offensive force was our catcher.
He rips it to deep left field.
Lieby, I've watched you develop from an undersized rookie, serve your apprenticeship under Dalton and Santiago, and now take your place as one of the elite catchers in the game. Smells like victory.
Lieberthal ripped at Ventura.
You had one of the best offensive seasons of any Phillies catcher ever, despite the beating you take behind the dish. Here's a little segment I call Kids Don't Grow Up to Be a Catcher. And through it all, your defensive game was outstanding. Watching you in 1999, I would definitely rank you as the #1 two-way catcher in the league and a true pride of the Phillies.
Thanks a lot, Schill. Actually, the part of the game I care most about is handling pitchers. Sure, it's fun to get back there when you're on your game.
Called third strike. Struck him out. That was his good splitter.
But the real challenge is bringing a guy along in a new role. Wayne Gomes was thrust into the closer's job, and he was getting some serious on-the-job training.
Usually Gomes does want the curveball. Likes to throw that curveball.
Here it comes.
Lieberthal calls it. Struck him out to end the ball game. 2 strikeouts in the inning. A 1-2-3 save for Wayne Gomes.
On June 3rd, we took a train down to Baltimore. It was an ideal road trip. A short ride to a nearby city, only 3 games, then home again. A baseball life has its glamour, but the travel is deadly. It's especially hard on your family, knowing your kids won't be this little for long and wanting to spend every possible minute you can with them.
For me, the travel has its good points. The grueling schedule of a baseball season also brings a camaraderie that you don't find in any other sport. It was good to take the train to Baltimore and to think back to a time when the railroad was the only way that teams traveled.
But it was a fun time. Time to just kind of get away from everything. Just like when we're on the plane, we get to kick back, relax, read a book, play on your computer.
Blah, blah, blah. El blah, blah song.
Imagining all those players that traveled these same rails and reflecting on the history of this great game, made me realize that I was part of something special.
The Baltimore series was a great indication that our team was finally coming together. Our regulars were starting to hit their stride, but our bench, as usual, really gave us a lift.
Left center field, Surhoff is not going to get it out of here. Home run, Rob Ducey. Can you believe it? And the Phillies now lead it by a score of 6-5. What a big blow by Ducey down in the count, 2 strikes.
Ducey's homer illustrated just how good our bench really was. We could come at you with 2 dangerous hitters, Kevin Jordan and Alex Arias.
Smash, fair ball down the left field line. Lieberthal will score easily.
Yeah, and Gary Bennett did a great job every time he got the call.
It is out at home plate. Fair ball down the left field line.
Kevin Sefcik is one of those guys who plays everywhere.
Somehow, Dave Dosser always seemed to be in the right place. Plus, his presence made it much easier to pinch hit Alex.
Another hit for Arias. He's 6 for 6 as a pinch hitter. One will score. Here's Brumfield's throw. Safe at home plate is Relaford.
I'll tell you what, Levy. Nothing gets me more pumped than facing the Yankees at the Vet.
Hey, what's with all this buddy-buddy stuff? Now that's more like it. That's the Philadelphia I know.
Man, when they come to town, the place is just electric.
Struck him out. Slam to deep right. Barrel foul. It is a barrel. Home run, Rico Brodia.
Now Rico grew up a Yankee fan, so that had to be fun for him, and helped to get the big crowd fired up.
Well, not everybody.
Oh, good swing, bouncing ball to Roland. He comes home and they have Peter in a rundown. Back to Scott Roland who tags him out. Throw to second, double play. Oh, did they turn it deep to left center field by Roland. On away back in, it's gone. Home run, Scott Roland.
That bolt really got the crowd going, and it was Gomesy's turn to nail this one down.
Ground ball should be the ball game. Doster makes the race to bag, and that'll end the game. Paul Bird breathes a sigh of relief as he wins his 8th. The Phillies have won game 1 of this series with the New York Yankees by a score of...
The Birdman got the win for us, and the next night... Hey, what's the mayor doing sitting with him?
It was my turn next, but I was having one of those nights. The Yanks had us down 5-0 after 5.
Schilling really unhappy with himself after that pitch.
And I really needed a pick-me-up from my teammates.
Hard ground ball, but at one hop to Jeter. He drops it, picks it up, throws high to first, safe.
And with that simple error, one of the greatest innings in Vet history began.
Makes it through the middle. Marlon Anderson's being waved around. Bernie Williams' throw is high and late.
Walking to force in a run. It's now a 5-3 game. Back through the middle, base hit. This game is tied at 5-5. Marlon Anderson continues to deliver with...
It seemed like the more we scored, the more frenzied the crowd became.
Back through the middle, it has eyes. It's a base hit to center. Hit him with a pitch ball. That will force it a run. The Phillies now lead it 8-5. And he gets a hit to right center field. Abreu scores. Lieberthal scores. Here comes Relaford. He's going to score. Ducey to third with a triple. And the Phillies now lead it 11-5.
The 9-run inning led to a major blowout as we took 2 out of 3 from the defending world champions and started feeling pretty good about ourselves.
And I think that the fans finally started to realize that the fun was returning to the Vet. On June 11th, an old friend returned as Jim Fregosi brought his Blue Jays to town.
I don't know, Levy, but seeing him in that uniform, And while it's great to see old friends, how about some new ones? Philadelphia, meet Randy Wolf.
Struck him out. His first big league strikeout. Struck him out. The third strikeout for Wolf.
Dropped down on him and struck him out. He's going to get a nice hand as he goes out. Fans are on their feet. They've been hearing a lot about this kid in AAA Scranton, and now they got a chance to see him and showing their approval of what he's done tonight. Heck of a job for the kid.
Catching a kid in his first game can be a lot of fun, especially when it's a win.
Congratulations, Rook.
Then you say, okay kid, let's see you do it again. Randy Wolf was supposed to spend the summer learning to pitch in AAA, but Carlton lower stress fracture brought him to the big leagues ahead of schedule.
8 brilliant innings by Randy Wolf as he has a 1-2-3 here in the 8th.
Just like Gomes, Randy was thrust into a new role, and early returns were good.
And of course, you do good at the vet, you get your own cheering section. By late June, we were starting to gain momentum. We won 5 of the last 6 series we played, and people around the league started to pay attention. Getting named to the All-Star team was a thrill, but this was the first time I was bringing teammates. It was great for Bertie, who came out of nowhere to make the squad, but I know it had to be sweet for you, Mike.
Well, over the years I've had my detractors, but to all those people out there, I'm an all-star. I'll tell you what, we could have easily brought some more guys to the Midsummer Classic. Doug Glanville was on base every time you looked, and usually made his way around to home plate.
And he's safe at home plate.
Defensively, he's as good as anybody in the game.
Caught brilliantly by Glanville.
He makes a great catch.
And Bobby Abreu, he just crushed any and every kind of pitching.
Right back through the middle. Shoot a hose on this guy. Is he hot?
He spent most of the season near the top of the league in hitting. And he's one of those guys I'd pay to watch play right field.
He's going to challenge Abreu, and he's a dead duck.
Bobby Abreu even brought his own Venezuelan cheering section.
Then, of course, there's Scott Rowland. For the first half of the season, Scott had good, but not great numbers. But when the weather got hot and the Cubs came to town for the 4th of July weekend,
come on, give me the cliche.
Let's just say, Scott brought the fireworks.
Face of the fence. Thrown by Kreiber inside the Parker. Here he comes. And he is safe. And inside the park home run.
When Scott gets on a tear, nothing can stop him.
This baby way out of here. Home run, Scott Rowland. His second of the night.
Pretty soon, everybody was getting into the act.
Well hit to left field, and this ball is out of here. Home run, Dave Doster in his first at bat of the night.
Glanville hits it to deep left field. Back goes Rodriguez.
That first game was a laugher, but the fun didn't stop there.
Abreu to the plate. He's not going to show anybody up, although you know he's excited.
Wow. Here's a hot one here at the Met this afternoon. Hot shot. What a great grab by Rowland. Throws him. Line drive hit in the gap in left center field. Glanville scores. Rowland waltzes the second one.
You know, Lieb, good hitting is contagious.
Base hit right field. Coming in to score Anderson. Arias to third. Curt Schilling delivers with a single. In the hole. Base hit left field.
I guess you can't say the same about good running.
Okay, Carl Lewis. By the time the weekend was over, we'd outscored them 41-11, and it looked like Scott Rowland was ready to go on a serious run.
Phillies sweep the weekend series, winning this afternoon by a score of 6-2.
Okay, Lieb, it's time for some Schilling family home movies. I call this one Our All-Star Adventure.
Fenway Park.
Here I am in the limo after just finding out that I'm the NL starter.
1999 NL All-Star starter from the Philadelphia Phillies, number 38, Curt Schilling, now facing everybody who hits over 400 for 5 consecutive years.
Very funny, Shonda. Nervous? Nah. Fenway Park, maybe the coolest place in baseball. I hope Garrett realizes how neat this all really is.
He's mad because he hasn't gotten to take BP yet. He kept calling it Family Park instead of Fenway Park, so we've had to work on the vocab a little bit. But once we get done with the interviews here, we're going to go out and hit a few off the Green Monster and enjoy it.
He pitches very good on Thursday.
Just like his dad, never met a camera he didn't like.
All right there, Don Rickles.
Great stars here, and it's my first All-Star game, so it's almost, I don't know where to go. I feel like a little mouse running everywhere.
There he is, Birdman.
I think Birdie would sign $1 million for the chance to be here.
Put my hat on. That's my hat.
We had a front row seat to the best show in town. Hey, isn't that Kevin Sefcik? No, it's Matt Damon. The night of the game was one I'll never forget. With all the spectacle and history of the all-century team, it was hard to keep your emotions in check.
Yeah, being a part of that was just about the greatest moment of my career.
Don't worry, Lieb, you'll have plenty more.
A big part of our success this year had to do with our bench. Desi Rutherford went down with wrist surgery in June, and Alex Arias did a great job in his place.
Short, tough play for Arias. Got him!
He's steady in the field and deadly at the plate.
Smash, fair ball down the left field line. Lieberthal will score easily. A 2-run double for Alex Arias.
Not only did he hit over 300 for the entire season,
The hits just keep coming.
but he led the league in pitch hitting with an incredible .545 batting average.
In mid-July, Scott Rowland injured his back and Kevin Jordan had to fill in. At times, it seemed like KJ was trying to do his best Scott Rowland imitation.
Kevin Jordan got him.
Yeah, and when he played first, he looked like Rico.
What a play by Captain Short.
KJ and Alex did an awesome job for us this year. They're both consummate pros.
But one of the biggest surprises of the year had to be Robert Person. Ed Wade got him from the Blue Jays in May, and once he made his way into the starting rotation, we knew we had something good. Robert has great stuff. A 95-mile-per-hour heater, good breaking balls. I'm really excited about him.
He has something you can't teach, a live arm. Purse won 10 games for us this year, and next year, well, he'll be as good as he wants to be.
Near the end of July, we had 7 games against the Braves, and it was important for us to play them tough.
Once again, I didn't have my good stuff, and they got to me early.
He's leading 5-0 here in the 5th inning.
Come on, guys, I need some help.
Ground ball to second base. Anderson goes to third, and out at third base is Ozzie Guillen. Ground ball to third base. They got that.
Sometimes in baseball, it's the little things that can make a difference. Marlon Anderson breaking up a double play extended the inning. and brought to the plate one of our best weapons.
Base hit center field. Sepsic scores. Here comes Gant. Jones throw to the plate. Hits the mound. Gant scores. And here comes Abreu. He scores. And the Phillies have taken a 6-5 lead here in the bottom of the seventh on a clutch two-out hit by Kevin Jordan.
There was no way Gomesy was going to let this one get away.
Struck him out, ball game over. Phillies a big-time comeback win, 6-5 over the Atlanta Braves in game one of the doubleheader.
In the second game, young Anthony Shoemaker made his major league debut and seemed to be unfazed by the powerhouse lineup he was facing.
Struck him out.
Shoe held the Braves to 2 runs over 8 innings and did a heck of a job for his first time out.
The next night, it was comeback time again as Rico led the way.
Abreu gets a base hit to right field. Abreu a late start. Here he's coming around. Here's the throw to the plate. He's safe. Oh my goodness. Tie ball game. Base hit center field Gary Bennett, who continues to hit with runners in scoring.
Then it was time to throw some leather.
Jack to third base. Kevin Jordan goes to Coster. He held it back. Enrico Bronya double play. Bouncing ball chopped to Bronya. It's a fair ball. Game over. Phillies win by a score of 4-3.
Now, Paul Byrd always pitches inside, so I don't know what Eddie Perez was thinking.
Get down to first. What are you looking at?
And the next week in Atlanta, history repeated itself.
Kidding me? Paul Byrd hits Eddie Perez with a pitch.
Eddie Perez was overreacting because there was no way Paul was throwing at him on purpose. But in Birdie's next at bat,
Wow, Schill. How'd you get in there that quick?
you got to protect your boys, Lieb. And to Birdie's credit, he dusted himself off and got the win. It's not easy to compose yourself after something like that, and I think we all found out a little something about Paul Byrd that night. One guy I do have to talk about is Ron Gant. When Ron first got to town, he wasn't greeted very warmly.
Takes a hit away from Ron Gant, and that'll retire the side.
But he kept his mouth shut and he didn't complain, even behind closed doors.
Catch. Base hit center field. He scores. It gets all the way back to the fence.
And as the summer wore on, we got to see what a true professional he really was.
A bases loaded double by Ron Gant.
He played the best left field I've seen since I've been here. And he had that quiet kind of veteran leadership that every team needs.
Gant is going to try for two. Head first slide double.
Now he had a chance to do some damage against his former team.
Line drive in the gap in right center field. Going all the way back to the fence. There he is. Scores. Jordan scores. Here comes Lieberthal. He scores. And the Phillies have taken a 6-5 lead. Here in the bottom half of the eighth inning.
High fly ball deep to left field. Fair or foul? Way up there. Upper deck home run for Ron Gant.
What a series Gant is having. 15th home run of the year for Ron Gant.
That had to feel pretty good.
There are some ball players that are just plain different. They have something special.
Yeah, I feel that when I'm facing Mark McGwire or Sammy Sosa.
But in a hitter's case, it's definitely Randy Johnson. On August 6th, the big unit brought his A game to the mound. And believe me, every at-bat was a struggle.
That fastball did reach the century mark. 100 miles an hour.
He dominated for 8 solid innings. But some hitters just have a knack for the clutch.
Towering drive. This game is going to be tied. Home run, Ron Gant. He got a breaking ball and he jumped out at the Phillies and tied the game at 2 here in the 8th inning.
What a huge hit. And with that, Johnson lost his shutout and a chance for a win. And And then, in the bottom of the 11th, journeyman infielder Domingo Cedeno stepped up to the plate for the biggest at-bat of the season.
Right in the deep right center field. It is out of here. First home run for Domingo Cedeno as a Philly. And the Phillies have won the game 4-2 here in the bottom half of the 11th inning. Domingo Cedeno delivers with a home run. The Phillies.
That win carried us to 13 games over 500. First time we had been there since '95. It was a great night at the Vet.
It was a great weekend, really. We were celebrating the greatest moments of the century, and every time you looked around, you bumped into another Phillies legend from the past.
Sunday ceremony was almost rained out, but Harry Callis had the solution.
When I arrived at the ballpark this morning, it was raining and it was raining hard. So I talked to Whiteness. He said, Harry, I'll have it cleared up for you by 1 o'clock for the ceremony.
I was truly honored to be part of it. My shutout in Game 5 of the 1993 World Series was voted one of the top 10 moments in the team's history. But I was sharing the field with some real heavyweights.
The greatest pitcher in Phillies history, lefty Steve Carl, the best third baseman ever to play this great game, Michael Jack Schmidt.
They were all there. The Whiz Kids, Jim Bunning, Dick Allen, the 1980 World Champions, and of course, my 1993 teammates. And when they brought out Richie Ashburn's family, there wasn't a dry eye in the place.
Of the century, the greatest collection of Phillies stars ever assembled on the field, and the greatest fans in the USA. Thank you very much. Now, a tradition of Veterans Stadium events such as this afternoon.
That traditional Phillies victory lap sure gave me goosebumps, Joe.
Such beautiful fans.
The Phillies have been a big part of people's lives around here for a long, long time, Mike. And on days like this, I'm really proud to be a part of it.
That weekend was the high point of our season. Unfortunately, things started to slide after that.
Oh no. Oh no. No. Oh brother. Oh, I cannot believe that. Gets the bunt down. Lance Painter goes to third and just gets Kevin Jordan. Terry Francona's gonna argue and John Vukovich is on.
I knew that something in my shoulder didn't feel right, but I tried to pitch through it. The results just weren't there.
Then Birdie started to feel some back pain, and his game suffered.
This was the first time for Paul Bird to pitch a full season as a big league starter. Believe me, it took a long time before I learned what it takes to physically and mentally prepare for a full season in the majors. Paul found out that he has what it takes to compete at this level. His struggles in '99 will only serve to help him as he gets ready for next year.
After 5 straight wins, Randy Wolf's season started streaking in the opposite direction. The danger of calling up a player too soon is that failure can destroy his confidence. I don't worry about that with Wolfie. He's a smart kid with a great makeup who will learn from his mistakes. His baptism by fire this season will only make him stronger. Aside from losing you, Curt, our biggest blow was the injury to Scott. What seemed like a minor back problem just never got better. And even after ripping up the league in July, he pretty much had to shut it down after that. And of course, losing our biggest stick in the middle of the lineup didn't help our winning percentage. It was also tough losing Desi halfway through the year.
You know, Mike, there's nothing worse than sitting around knowing you can't help the ball club. But the season did have some bright spots. And one of the biggest was the emergence of Bobby Abreu as a full-fledged star in this league.
Well hit, another 3-run home run for Bobby Abreu. Way out of here. Back at the wall. Oh, baby, what a catch by Bobby Abreu. Wow.
Bobby's a Gold Glove caliber outfielder in right. He hustles everything down, and only the foolish base runners try to take an extra base on him.
Way to third, a BB by Abreu. He's out at third base.
At the plate, he's a batting title waiting to happen. I would describe him as a very cerebral hitter, always with a definite approach to each at-bat.
Well hit, watch this, baby.
Combine that with his natural ability, and you have a hitter that I'm glad I don't have to face.
Bobby Abreu with the Phillies.
Then you have Doug Glanville.
Deep to left field. Back she goes. It is gone! A 3-run home run for Doug Glanville. That is 200. Talk about doing it in style. Wow.
He's the first Philly to have over 200 hits in 20 years. Doug does what every leadoff hitter is supposed to do, score runs. But he also drives them in, leading the league in RBIs for a leadoff man.
Doug Glanville gets a huge 2-out, 2-strike hit.
He had the top stolen base percentage in the majors, swiping 34 out of 36 bags. He and Bobby both finished in the top 10 in batting, and all three outfielders scored over 100 runs, something no Phillies team has done in 99 years.
Offensively, this team is solid. I should know, they bailed me out more than enough this season. The Phils finished second in the league in batting with runners in scoring position, a huge stat at 293.
And Rico Brogna continues to excel. Despite a chronic arthritis condition, Rico was our Iron Man this year, leading the club with 157 games played. He was flawless in the field and became the only Phillies first baseman in history to get 100 RBIs in back-to-back seasons.
Throw late, Phils win 6-5. What a night for Rico Brogna.
And on the horizon is Pat Burrell, the first overall pick in 1998 who absolutely tore up AA pitching this year.
So things look pretty promising around here. With a little help in the bullpen and maybe some more depth in the rotation, we can get a quick start next year on the road to contention.
Welcome once again, Mike Lieberthal.
I mean, all the players on the other team, they always compliment our team. They love the way we play. And, maybe we don't have the players to compete against the Mets or the Braves right now, but I think a lot of the players on the other teams and coaches can see how good that we can be and how we're really close to being very good. And maybe we're only a couple players away or pitchers away, but we're definitely a lot closer than we were, and we play right. We play the game right. And I know there's other players on other teams that may be free agents pretty soon, and they might want to come over here just because of the style we play and the players that we have here.
Mike Lieberthal, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
As the season drew to a close, we had one last challenge, to try to stop the Mets from winning the wild card.
Runners go, strikeout, throw out. That will retire the side. The runners.
In the first game of the series, reliever Joe Gray gave us a huge lift, holding the Mets close until the cavalry could arrive.
Base hit right field. Sessick is going to tie the game. Abreu on his way to second. We are tied at 2 here in the 8th inning.
That set the stage for my favorite catcher to be our hero.
Lieberthal, line drive, right field, sinking, is in for a base hit. Here comes Abreu, heading for the plate. Here's the throw, late, he scored! And the Phillies lead the Mets 3-2 in the 8th inning on Mike Lieberthal's second RBI hit of the night.
And the very next day,
Rogers' 3-2 pitch, swing, and a well-hit ball to deep right center.
now have the best single-season home run total of any Phillies catcher ever.
30th home run of the year.
As for Rico,
fastball hit to deep left field. This ball has got a chance. It's out of here. Home run, Rico Brogna.
That had to feel pretty good for Rico. He's been nothing short of excellent ever since the Mets traded him here.
another ex-Met, Robert Person, held him in check all day long.
Then it was Gomesy's turn to slam the door.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Phillies have made it 2 in a row over the New York Mets.
For the series finale, it was another ex-Met trying to do in his old team.
Struck him out. Got him with a changeup, and that will retire the side.
The Mets fans even had their own signs. Yeah, that's real clever.
Broken back.
Bobby Valentine had to start thinking they were snake bit. But in the ninth, they loaded the bases off Gomesy, and in came Steve Montgomery in a real tough spot.
Short hop, get him. One, they get a double play. Can you believe it? This game is over. The Phillies have swept the New York Mets.
That was a great win for the team, and the 15th for Paul Byrd, a number he wouldn't have dreamed about before the season.
And in the euphoria of the moment, the Bird's Nest boys got to meet their hero. Take a little tour of the post-game clubhouse.
Yeah. How's it going, buddy? How you doing? How's it going, man? You guys are my favorite fans. Schill. Bird's Nest.
Nah, they're still not as good as the Schillimeter.
We've stated several times in the last 2 years that our goal, number one goal, is to win here and to be successful on the field for a long period of time. Our second major goal, is to retain the nucleus of this ball club, the young talent that we've got here. We're pleased to announce that we have come to terms with Mike Lieberthal on a 4-year contract.
This is where I started my career in Philadelphia, and with the Phillies, and this is pretty much where I want to end my career. And we have a very young, talented team. I really wouldn't want to play anywhere else. This is a great chance for us to win in the future. Even though the stadium, we're going to have a new stadium in 3 or 4 years. I love playing here with the fans, and it's only going to get better because our team is getting better.
Congratulations, Levy. You grabbed the brass ring. Looks like you'll be behind the plate here for a long time.
I'm just happy that I'll be here when things really start to get good. And hopefully in the new millennium, we'll have a lot more moments like
Swing a long drive. It's got a chance. Grand slam. Home run, Mike Lieberthal. Struck him out with a splitter. Schilling strikes out the side. Glanville tracks it down
into deep right field. That's gone. Bobby Abreu, a long home run.
Well hit, game over. Scott Rowland has just ended the ball game.
Add Andy Ashby to a pitching staff that includes Curt Schilling, Paul Byrd, Robert Person, and a young guy like Randy Wolf, I think really validates what we're trying to do and gives us that type of significant depth where we can go out there every day with a 5-man rotation and compete. And with the offense that we've got and the way we catch the ball, I think it was important for us to try to do this.
I'm happy to be back in Philadelphia, and hopefully I can do the things I have to do to help this club win. I mean, I'm excited. It's a young ball club, and there's a lot of commitment to the Phillies that they want to put a winner out there, and I'm excited to be a part of it.